it be a better thing to recommend religion like Buddhism, convert, rather than to renounce religion completely?
Yes, Buddhism in the ideal sense would have been perfect. It's not a religion, first of all. It doesn't talk about God. It only talks about morality. It is based on the centrality of human welfare. But the point is, Buddhism also has been Brahmanized. That's what Dr. Ambedkar says, that it is like imposters. They entered and then... so today, the center of Buddhism, which is called as the temple, the monastery at Gaya, you will be surprised it is under the hands of the Brahmins. Yes. Not Brahmins as Buddhists. It is under the Hindu Brahmins. By law. By law, it is under the Hindu Brahmins. It is not yet been... so therefore, Buddhism basically, in fact, that kind of a nationalism, in fact, Ambedkar also toyed with that idea. He said, I want my Rashtrapati would be Prabuddha Bharat. Fine. But Buddhism, in the sense, we have to rescue Buddhism from all these married mythical wrappings around it. We should bring out the true thing which Ambedkar said, the reason and logic is the foundation of Buddhism, morality is the centrality. That has to be always there. But even Buddhism also, in fact, they have, say if I convert, if I am from Shildikas, they say you are Navayana Buddhist, I so-and-so Buddhist in that, this and all. So they did not leave any religion. No matter what sort of shade and color and all, that's what Dr. Ambedkar says. This Brahmanism is like a virus. Caste is like a virus. It enters into everywhere and all. That is one. Second thing you're talking about, can a casteless society looks like ideological, ideational thing, not actual thing. I'll tell you one thing, sir. Castes have been culturized. They are not natural. They are not natural. In the history of India, in the social history of India, castes and these identities have been naturalized. They have been very, very slowly and very systematically promoted. And when it has been slowly culturalized, people have accepted it. That means, if you make a systematic, if you make a sustained movement in the society, things get culturalized. So just as castes get culturalized, decastifying and de-Brahmanizing also can be culturalized. But it needs a sustained and sustained very, very careful movement. And you know what kind of pains the Brahmins have taken to culturalize this society. One thing I tell you, just imagine a simple myth. They always want to discredit women. They have created a myth saying that from the mouth came Brahmin, shoulders came so-and-so. That is an irrelevant and an absurd myth. But that absurd myth has been culturalized into the minds of the people as though it is the program of the God, and they have sustained it to be form a society out of it, and they are guarding the society for 3,000 years. Don't you think the Brahmins have been working day and night, overtime for that? In fact, they are the ones who work overtime for that. We are the ones who don't think and then we just simply we just talk and don't do anything. They think and then do. What is we should do first? We should start doing it first. So castes are simply culturalized. And we want to take away the culture with a new culture. So culture can any time, when culture is nothing but a kind of way of people. So way of people can be consciously ingrained into the minds of the people. We must convince them, we must make them aware, make them conscious that this thing is better for you and this is the one which has been cheating you. That movement has to take place in the society and it has to be nourished for a long time. And I am telling you, it takes a long time. It looks impossible. It looks very difficult, but it is not impossible. One has to start doing it, that's all.
So before we start anything, they will try to cut us. So
this is basically, sir, this is, basically the strategies and counter strategies. We should be able to understand their strategies. That is what we say, in the war of ideologies, the words are weapons. We must use our words as weapons very, very carefully and thoughtfully. And they try to, use their words in their favor. They try to promote their concepts in their favor. These days they are talking about corruption. Why only the argument of corruption should come in April 2011? Have anybody thought about that? Why should this argument of corruption should start only in April? Why not in January? Why not in December 2011? It is because they want to counter the census of OBCs in this month. In June, it has to be started. And that is supposed to be the greatest counting of anywhere in this world. And this is a demand which we have been making for so many days. And in fact, they have not agreed for a caste census. They have cheated us by giving the census counting by national population register. Nobody is thinking about that. You should be counted. In fact, whenever independence came, it is the duty of the state to count every citizen. Who are they? What are their social, moorings? And where are they? What are their sexual thing? Now that is the duty. For 64 years, they have in fact cheated the people of this country. And when the people have been demanding, they did not do that. They did not do that. In 2001, there was a demand. In 2001, there was a demand for caste census. And that time the Home Minister was L.K. Advani. Because Census Commissionerate is not is independent commissionerate, like Election Commissionerate. Census Commissionerate is a subservient of Home Ministry. That time the Home Minister was L.K. Advani. What that Baga has done is, he has arranged a meeting of sociologists and anthropologists. M.L. Srinivas, Andri Bite, all these so-called Brahmin sociologists, all their life they made their career as professors writing on caste. But when they came for this meeting, they said, if you count in the name of caste, the caste angularities will be sharpened and Indian unity will be deepened. So they have taken that and they said, they are not going to count caste. They said that in January 2001, and in April 2001, the very BJP government started dividing OBCs and BCs, most backward, more backward and backward, for their own political convenience. But after 10 years, 2011, after 10 years it has to take place. Nobody is talking about that except banks of other people. They have talked about the caste census. When the movement is going up, they said, okay, we'll count. Everybody thought, okay, caste will be counted in the census. But today it is not in the census. It is only in the NPR, National Population Register. And that too, it is not being counted by the government servants. It is being counted through private agencies, because these buggers also have done another thing. They made up a ministry with Nandan Nilekani, the chairman of Infosys.
But they can give ID card.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. See, they have in fact linked caste and national population register with the Nandan Nilekani thing. See, he want to give UID, unique identity card, something like that. And it costs a lot. They have allotted 15,000 crores for that particular exercise, giving just a plastic card. They have allotted 15,000 crores to sustain Infosys and all these IT companies in the recession. Okay? And they said they will take biometric identity in this thing, iris and other things and all. Today, the British government of India has clubbed the biometric identity with the National Population Register. That means the information of caste will be taken up by the private agencies. That means the real number will not come. See, when the aspect of reservation for OBCs in the higher education institutions came up, the Supreme Court of India said, where are your numbers? So today we want our numbers. But when we demand for numbers, they are not giving us. So when we are asking for numbers, they are not going to count us properly. And that should have been a serious issue in this country. The OBCs basically, if they are supposed to be 52% of this country, they should talk about this particular thing. They have been fooling OBCs for last 60 years. And even now, in the name of counting, they are not counting them properly. This should have been the very, very hot issue by April, May and June, the counting starts. But by April, all media, Brahminical media, it started corruption. As though corruption is suddenly is come up at all.
The new Mahatma has come.
And as the old Mahatma, Louis Bagar is also not talking about the root cause of corruption. See, Anna Hazare or Ramdev, they are not talking about the root cause of corruption in India. See, corruption is a multifactorial thing, as we said. But the root cause of corruption in India is casteism. See, what is casteism? Casteism says that all the